I'm Scott Thornton, president and local owner of Temecula Winnelson, which sponsors Plumbing Around.
Mhm.
In life and plumbing shit happens. Today I'm here with Porsché Mysticque Steele, which is a super cool name. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. You're very fashionable. I like the red. So I remember meeting you. It was at, I don't want to screw this up too, Valley Young Professionals
Yes.
luncheon
Mm-hmm.
and bunch, and I'm not a member, obviously, 'cause I'm too old.
Okay.
But I get to attend sometimes. And I remember sitting, I think I was sitting across from you, or maybe I was sitting next to you. I can't remember what it
Cat a
was now.
corner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kitty corner.
Kitty corner?
Catty corner?
Cat a corner.
No.
No, it's not kitty
We're
corner.
going to disagree about everything today.
Okay, probably.
And that smile, I was like, who the hell is that? Because that's a happy person. And then you started laughing. I was like, I need to talk to her.
Okay.
She got something going on. And then I heard you were a publisher.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, ooh, I got a project I want to talk to her about. I'm definitely going to talk to her. But you got that something, that smile. You get everybody like that. So it was exciting to meet you. I love your energy.
Thank
and
you.
I love that you're on here. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let's start with all the hats you wear.
Well, I have this red one. I have a blue one. I have a beige one. I have a black one. I have a see-through one. That's fun. Well, that's not
Bet
okay.
it is.
I'm
Hey,
just
now.
kidding. Hey, it's part of my new signature. Okay, no. So in business, I do a lot. Sometimes I do a little way too much. So my career, what I do, I'm an award-winning book coach. I'm a TEDx speaker. I'm an independent publishing expert.
Yeah. All right.
I own a publishing company based out of Montana. That's 1, 2, 3 hats right there.
Mm-hmm.
The other hat is locally, I'm the editor-in-chief of the Hidden Vine publication,
Mm-hmm.
a Temecula-based magazine. So that's another hat.
Which Temecula Winnelson is a
Advertiser.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for your faith in us. And then, there's all the personal hats, right? Being a daughter, a wife, a sister, an auntie, a niece, all the things, right? So
You're busy.
I'm busy.
Yeah. How do you find time to juggle all that, really? I mean, that's
I don't. Okay,
fair enough. Yeah.
I live my life by my calendar, right?
Okay.
So my calendar dictates everything that I do because I put everything in that calendar. But I'm a spur of the moment type of person. I don't like to carry around a basket of all the things that I have to do because it would just weigh me down. So I don't usually keep in my head all the things that I have to do. So I put it on my calendar and then I forget about it until my calendar alerts me that I should do that thing. And I'm like,
And
okay.
it's oh shit, let me get my hat. I gotta go.
Exactly. Let me get my hat. I'm just going to do that thing. And then it excites me because I'm not overthinking anything. I'm just kind of letting it come and it allows me to breathe and stay in my happy place.
I mean, that's a lot of things that you do.
Yeah.
What drew you to that? Because that's a pretty creative side of things. People would call you a creative today. That's, I think, term used a lot. What drew you to that?
Actually, I don't think I'm a creative person.
Okay.
I think my imagination could use some work. But I'm very good at executing somebody else's vision. And I think that's what kind of brings me into the positions that I'm in today, right? So in the publishing work that I do, the goal is just to take the vision that somebody has, I take it out of their head and then I bring it to life. So I do the same thing with the books. I do the same thing with the magazine. How I got into that space though is I was an avid reader. As a little kid, I was a little nerd. I read books all the time. I loved it. But when we moved from Pittsburgh to California, things kind of just took a deep, dark turn. Right. So moving here in 2009, I was 16 years old and we lived in Marietta and my father basically turned our family into like a cult. So dealing with all levels of abuse, I wasn't allowed to leave the house. I wasn't allowed to date. Wasn't allowed to go to physical school. I had to do virtual schooling. Wasn't allowed unsupervised time online. It was just oppression on oppression on oppression. And so my only form of escape was books that I would read. In 2015, I started to sneak online at night while the rest of the house was sleeping. There's like 9 of us in the house. So while the rest of the house was sleeping, I would sneak online to read books because I didn't have money to like buy them at that point, right? So I was just reading books that were unpublished, but were uploaded to platforms like Wattpad and Goodreads and stuff like that. The only
Well,
thing
you couldn't even go to the library, right?
I couldn't. I mean, and it's crazy. Like you make lemonade out of lemons. But the only time we really left is when we left as a family. And when you do that as a teenager, you really got nothing. You don't have the ability to explore.
Right.
Right. So I'm reading these unpublished works and they were riddled with errors because they were unpublished. And I've always been like a grammar police type of person. And I wasn't doing anything. So I'd reach out to the authors and say, hey, yo, can I edit this? And they was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, thank you. So I did it. Fast forward, I meet a guy on a language exchange website. He just happened to be from Nigeria. And because I wasn't into anything else, I
Was
fell
this
in
at
love.
night when
This
everybody was
at
asleep?
night. Like, just imagine me like, typing on the computer and talking to
Covers
him.
up over your head.
I'm like this, like tent style, and I fell hard and fast for this guy. And then he was like, you could be making money off of this editing thing that you're doing. I was like, say less, bro. Like, I'm going to create an Upwork profile and we're going to make money. So I did. So by 2019, I had made 15 grand that I just kept in an account because I wasn't going anywhere. And then my oldest sister, who got like the worst of the abuse, she was like, Porsche, I'm done. Like, either we leave or my life ends here. I was like, girl, I got 15 grand and a man on the outside. We out. Let's go. So we packed our things. We literally left July 11th, 2019, 3 o'clock in the morning. She put a pillow over the alarm that my dad had, and we snuck out. She went to Indiana, and I flew business class to Nigeria.
Yeah, you did?
I did, because I had the money
Why
to do
not?
it.
Yeah.
Exactly. But when I arrived, he proposed to me. I said yes. We've been married for 5 years. Thus began my life in Nigeria. So I lived in Nigeria for 4 years, came back to the States February of last year, and moved to Temecula. And here I am.
Yeah, you are. So I'm always curious about other countries.
Yeah.
What was it like living in Nigeria? What are the differences? What did you enjoy? What were some of the things that you wish were different?
The biggest thing was the people are genuinely happy there. And because, like, despite what I've been through, I've always been able to find my natural happy place. So it was interesting being in a country where people are just happy. Like, there's no major problem. So that was huge for me, and I loved that. The food, because, I'm a foodie.
Did they have tacos?
No, they didn't have no stinky tacos.
All right, I just had check.
Tacos.
Insider.
Inside joke. But the food was delicious, and I was like, I need this in my life.
What's like a normal dish from Nigeria? I don't even know.
Like, the typical dish would be what we would call swallow. Okay, so swallow is made from, say what? No, like the act of swallowing.
Oh.
Okay. So swallow is a dough type of dish, if you will, right? And so you could use gari is one, fufu is another. Gari is made from cassava, okay? So you take the cassava tuber, okay, whatever. Just imagine a yellow dough.
Okay.
Okay. And then on the side, you have a soup of some sort, right? And it could be vegetable soup, it could be okra soup, it could just any type of soup. Then you take a piece of the dough, you dip it into the soup, and you put it in your mouth, but you don't chew, you swallow. I was never good at it. I was like, I told my husband, I said, give me a spoon, bro. I need a spoon. Because this gari thing, I can't do it.
Was it like the dough cooked or?
No, not really. So because it comes in like a powder form, okay, or granular form, and you put it in a bowl, and when you add hot water, you mix it up, and then the hot water kind of helps it to become this dough. So technically it's cooked because the cassava is fried to create the granular. So it's not raw.
All right, interesting.
Yes.
And so what made you decide to come back?
Two things. Number one, my husband and I want to establish our life here, but because I've never been an adult in America, There are things that I didn't know. I didn't understand taxes. I didn't know how
We
credit
still
worked.
don't.
I know, right?
Taxes,
I'm still struggling. Listen,
yeah.
but like just the basic things of like what it is to maintain an adult life in the US. And so it was like, I can't have us both come back because then we're both going to be trying to fumble
Mm,
through this new country that neither of us know anything about.
really? Okay.
So I came back to kind of reestablish. So when my husband finishes his internship, he's a radiological technologist. So when he finishes and he gets his license, he'll be able to come over and practice. But I was like, I need to build the foundation first. So that was the one reason. And then the second reason is, of course, my speaking career.
Mm,
So being in Nigeria, I discovered who I was as a woman. So I built my company there. I created my personal brand, and everything that is me, I created while I was there. And I fell in love with public speaking. I delivered my TEDx talk there, and it was just fascinating. And
mm.
I'm like, I need to do this. And I built really great relationships virtually. So I knew if I was going to come back, I need to solidify those relationships and then take over the US.
And how's that going?
Good.
I know. I see you talking everywhere.
Yes.
Right.
I've effectively
Congratulations.
taken over the country.
Just remember the little people once you
You're
know.
not little.
All right,
Are you not taking it over with me? Like I feel like we're kind of doing this together.
I'm not opposed to being dominant and, yeah.
That part.
Um, so what are you most passionate about then in your projects or
Mm.
what all the different hats you wear, so to speak? What's your passion then in those?
The one thing that kind of makes my heart flutter is working with individuals who are smarter than I am, and they're just like incredible human beings. Seeing the moment where they have that book in their hand and they realize that that book is a part of their legacy, their personal story is in it, their expertise and their wisdom is in it, and they know that this thing is going to outlive them. There's something that happens on their face that I can't quite explain.
Mm,
But when I see it, it hits me hard, and it brings me to tears every time. Like I always get like super emotional when we publish the book, and I can see that light in
mhm,
in the author. It's so addictive. It is so addictive, and I know that this isn't a job for me. It's something that I get to do,
mhm.
not something that I have to do.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. I think anything that moves you to some sort of emotion
Hmm.
is so worthwhile.
Mm,
It's,
yeah,
I mean, that's really what life's about to me.
yeah,
Something that moves you to cry, laugh, um, just, yeah, that evokes something inside of you,
hmm,
I think is so important. So
yes.
I can relate to what you're saying. And I mean, I don't have that particular, but it's just super important to me
Yeah.
in life. So
It's a
it makes me
powerful
super
feeling.
happy for you.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
definitely a powerful feeling. I think it dictates all of my actions.
Hmm.
So it's an easy North Star to have.
So about that, then, what are the types of clients that interest you the most? What piques your curiosity to make you want to work with those individuals?
It's definitely going to be the individuals that are experts in a specific industry that I know nothing about,
Mm.
right? So one of my authors, he's a sound therapist and he's a music healer.
Mm.
Ironically, he was my middle school piano teacher,
Really?
and he just happened to find me on Facebook.
Hmm.
But realizing that he's one of the leading experts on sound therapy and understanding music, sound, and frequency, I know nothing about that stuff. That's whoosh, going right over my head. But working with him has been so profoundly fulfilling because I'm like, this guy's a freaking genius,
Yeah.
right? And he chose me to work on his book. So there's that. The other books that I like are the ones that challenge me. There's projects where I enter them and I feel like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Welcome to my life.
I don't know what's
What am I
happening.
doing?
And then it's like, having people like try to convince me like, girl, you're the right one, like just trust me. And I love when people have that moment with me where they want me to trust them, because sometimes I don't, if I feel like this is not my wheelhouse, it's not my zone of genius, how can I assist you? It that moment where we finally kind of align and we realize, okay, you trust me, I trust you. yes, this is going to be challenging because I don't really know what I'm doing in this particular space. Like, this zone of genius is not mine. I could take your vision and I could bring it to life, but to like understand it on a deep level that you need to in order to market a book, that's where it gets a little tricky. But those moments where it kind of clicks for me, it feels so good.
Well, learning to fly,
Yes.
right? I mean, take
But
that leap
it's
of faith and don't be so. I don't know.
yeah.
That's just right. This is what I'm good at. This is what.
Yeah.
Man, learn to fly.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I definitely have my zone of genius, but when
Mhm.
it comes to putting a book together, there's the pilot and then there's the co-pilot, right? And if the pilot realizes that they're kind of in a territory that they're unfamiliar with, but the co-pilot is like, don't worry, I'm reading the map. We good. Like, it feels good to kind of have that.
Well, I
And
mean, there's so
so,
much
yeah.
beauty that comes out of the messy and the madness.
Mm.
At least I find, right? I mean, it's man, yeah. I mean, if you know how to do exactly everything every time,
Yeah.
boring. I mean, like, some people, that's just my opinion, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, messy makes me smile. I don't know. That's
I
just
like the
that's
idea.
me.
I mean, I think that's like the definition of kind of creativity, right?
Mm,
Which I like, but when it comes to doing business, right, and understanding that
right.
people are investing their time and their money, and a lot of times it's a lot of money. When they're investing that with you, I can't do messy. Like, I need to make sure that they feel comfortable and we're kind of,
Yeah, when I would say a lot of the stuff you do is more, from what I've researched and looked, is you're more is business books,
yeah,
how to do this in business or how to make this work in this area of business.
yeah,
So I can see that. I
right.
still like some messy. So
And I think that's why I said like creativity is like not really my thing per se, but because I do excel in the business, technical, personal development, self-help type of space. So nonfiction is really what I do
mhm.
because it's very technical and I tend to be a technical person.
I will tell you this, wrong.
What?
Girl, look at the way you dress. Come on.
Okay, but just because
There's
I'm
some
fly
creativity
does not.
there. There's some no, there's thought, yeah. So there's that.
I'm
Don't
creative in certain ways, but when it comes to business, I'm definitely a facts and figures kind of girl,
mm.
right?
Mhm.
And so I understand the beauty that comes from producing a book, but I excel in the nonfiction space because that beauty really is about providing a solution for people
Mhm.
and creating frameworks and delivering that framework in a very powerful way. And then it becomes this technical thing. Yes, it's still emotional.
Mhm.
Yes, we're still connecting heart to heart, but at the end of the day, it's still a facts and figure situation. So
Yeah, that's so not me. So.
I know. And can I like talk about you for a second?
We might get there. Hold on.
Okay.
You're going off script.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
My
You
apologies.
know. So what are the? So you've been back in just over a year now, right?
Hmm.
What are the top 3 things you've enjoyed about coming back to Temecula Valley?
Oh. Um, Number one is definitely the people. I thought I wouldn't like Americans.
Mm, I don't like some of them, but
Some
some are okay.
are
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Like, there's a lot of them that I happen to like. So that was one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is being back in my own country now that I've discovered who I am. It's been so beautiful because I've had ultimate freedom. And it's interesting because seeing how other people seem to be so constricted and unhappy when they're living in the land of opportunity, right? It gets very ironic. And so my inner spirit animal is Tigger from Winnie the Pooh.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like bouncing and I'm all over the place,
One of my
right?
nicknames is Pooh Bear.
Nuh-uh.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
Yes,
like
Tigger.
my inner Tigger, I'm bouncing all over the place. I'm joyful all the time. And most people kind of look at me like, what? Where do you get that from? And I'm like, because I'm not bound by the same restrictions that most people put on themselves. And so I think one of the biggest things that I've experienced since coming back is kind of seeing my impact on other people and how just being in their space helps them unlock.
Mm-hmm.
So as I live an unlocked
I can see that.
life, they start to unlock just because we're sharing a space.
Mhm.
So that's beautiful. The third thing that I enjoy about being back, gaming the system.
Ooh, explain that. I don't.
So I realize that there are so many different hacks on how you can live an American life
Mhm.
without the same rigmarole that everybody else finds themselves in. So I've been finding loopholes in different areas. So I'm like,
Like the car thing?
look at you. Yes. I'm finding all the loopholes, Scott. Like that's what I want to do. And I remember telling my mom before moving back, I was like, I'm not going to live like a typical American. I'm just not going to do it because I'm not going to be
Mm.
bound by the same nonsense, right? But I realized that everything is created through communication. So even my rent,
Even more today than ever, right?
thank you. If you just have a conversation with somebody, you'd be surprised what you can get done. The way you could just clear your debt by having a single conversation. And people are like, no, you have to go this way. You got to go through the red tape. And I was like, but what if you didn't?
But what about
But what
no?
about no? And they're like, no, that's how it goes. I'm like, watch me get on a phone call with somebody, have a conversation, and I'm like, girl, I got you. Thank you.
uh, so we talked about brought you back. We've talked about what inspires you. What kind of projects are you working now, and what do you have coming down the pike that you're excited about?
Yes. So I'm at the tail end of my second tour. So when I first came back to the US, April of last year, I did the CEO author tour. So the CEO author is the name of my book and my brand.
Mhm.
So I did that tour and it was very successful. So I decided to do one again this year. So I'm at the tail end of this, what is it, 10 or 12 stop tour. I don't know which one.
Is that while you were in Chicago too?
Yeah. So Chicago was part of the tour. There
Mhm.
was Chicago, Marietta, San Diego, Indiana, and then several virtual ones.
Mhm.
And then I was supposed to be in Virginia as well, but that ended up getting canceled. So um doing this speaking tour thing has been truly exciting. So I love that. And then there's the book project. So I have a number of book projects that I'm working on. All of them are really amazing because of the caliber of clients that I get to work with and the things that I get to learn about. Like we talked about the sound therapy. There's
Mhm.
another woman, she's like the go-to consultant for nonprofits. Being able to work with her has been beautiful. Another one, he's like a construction disputes avoidance expert. I didn't even know that was a
Okay.
thing, but
Yeah.
he's also amazing.
I fell asleep for a second there,
My
but
bad. But his book went double platinum,
yeah,
right?
that's
So
awesome. No,
it's been
that's
great.
just not. I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't, I made that up,
That's cool.
but it
I
just
like
makes
it.
the print and the ebook went number one. So I'm calling it double platinum.
Hmm.
Coined. And then, of course, the most challenging project is yours.
I definitely have you out of your familiar waters.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I wouldn't necessarily say out of my comfort zone, but I'm finding myself in a space that I haven't been in a long time. I've worked
You're
on
welcome.
poetry books. Thank you so much. I've worked on poetry books in the past, but none that have created this visceral reaction from me where it like really makes me feel
David, we might need to cut that. I don't know if that's good or not
a
bad.
whoops.
Visceral reaction.
I mean, visceral, those moments where it pulls at your heart so hard that you have no choice but to feel.
Mm.
And because I'm a very technical, joyful person, not that I don't get sad or I don't get angry, but I usually don't wallow in those feelings, right? I usually feel it and then it's gone. Like it's just that's
Right,
just
well, that's good
naturally.
too, right? To feel it and then let it be.
Yes, but
Yeah.
because we're working on this very beautiful and large poetry book that is like a roller coaster of emotions, it's definitely putting me in a space that I didn't expect to be in. And
Mm.
it's beautiful and it's interesting. And I'm like, and then when I talk about the challenge, it's like, bro, the way you were like, Portia, we gotta do this. And I'm like, pilot and co-pilot. Because I feel like I'm flying the plane, but I have you reading the map, right?
Mm.
And I'm trusting, I mean, sort of kind of, right? You're charting our points, where
We're
you want to
together.
go. Exactly.
Who knows where we're going? Again,
Hell if I know.
I'm a
I
messy
got
guy, right? That's, you know, I I always tell my kids all the time, they're like, Dad, we lost again. And I'm like, no, we're just exploring. We're just exploring. That's
I
all.
but that's so you.
Yeah. I mean,
I like that
Again,
though.
right? I'm not going to live the way people think you should live. And,
Yeah.
to a point, I don't either. This is me.
Yeah.
I'm not embarrassed by it anymore. I'm not,
Mm.
this is me. This is what I do. Okay, I'm lost. Whatever. I'm learning some new stuff.
I love
So,
that.
yeah.
But it's so powerful to see it written in beautiful words.
Well,
Right.
thank you.
So that's a very
Yeah.
interesting thing.
So, yes.
Yes.
So I do have a book coming out.
Ooh, they don't know that?
No.
Whoops.
Mm-mm.
My bad. I got a big
It's all
mouth.
right. I mean, we're only, month and a half, 2 months away
Yeah.
from being done. So
Yes, sir.
we're going to have to start telling people at some point,
We do.
because I would like to share it with the world.
Well, we would like to get the cover done first.
Next week, actually, it's getting work done.
Hallelujah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
Slowly but surely. And that's where the technical side comes in, because my job is to make sure it all gets done in a timely manner.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
All right. Is the editing done?
No.
Mm.
Excuse you. I'm working on it, and you didn't even schedule the next session. So
I want the editing done first so we can get
what
do you call it? Putting it together?
Formatting?
Yeah. Formatting. That.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to get a little bit of the artwork in.
Got you.
There's some people that.
My ETA, we said, was the end of next week, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just waiting. But I didn't want to schedule it until you got done with the editing. So we can, boom, hit the formatting. And
ground running.
yeah.
Sounds good.
So.
Okay. I'm doing my job.
So So yeah. Well, and that's right at that luncheon.
Mm-hmm.
The smile, the expertise,
Yeah.
the energy. Right. I mean, there's certain people, like David of Fresh Scoop Media, who I work with. I gotta work with those people because it fills me. Right. It puts purpose into my soul. It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
So, those things are important to me.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And you were one of those people. I was like, ooh, I like the energy. I like you know what I mean? Your sound healing,
Oh, yes.
So, right.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think I have an annoying voice, but if you like it.
I mean, I didn't notice it until now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I guess that all I have left is one. What's your favorite dessert? Because I know you might like some sweets.
Okay, so I'm a huge sugar bug.
Mm-hmm.
I like sweet things. I don't know. Do I have a favorite dessert?
I don't know.
Now
That's
I
why
have
I'm
to
asking
ask you. You might know better than I know.
Oh,
what's my
you
favorite
are
dessert?
all over the place whenever we go somewhere, so I don't.
That's true.
I don't know. That was why I thought
I know
of this
I
question.
don't like cannolis.
Yeah, neither do I. Yeah, I mean, mine's probably chocolate chip cookies.
That is the basic of all
Dipped
this.
in
That
peanut butter.
cannot. Okay.
And a big old glass of milk.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, okay. Sorry.
But-
I was going to tear. I was going to get into that.
Okay.
You can't have a chocolate chip cookie be your favorite dessert. Okay,
Why not?
because it's a chocolate chip cookie. It's like the
That was
basics of all basics.
Americana. What are you talking
Bro.
about?
A chocolate chip cookie. Out of all the desserts in the world.
Yeah.
If you had a carrot cake, cheesecake, or a cinnamon roll, I love me some cinnamon rolls.
See? But yeah, chocolate chip cookie.
Beats a cinnamon roll.
Mm-hmm.
You lying.
Every minute of the day.
Okay, I'm going to choose cinnamon roll.
So, yeah, all right. So we going with cinnamon roll maybe? Or there's too many?
There's too many to actually choose one. But like,
can you give me a top 3?
Cinnamon roll.
Cinnamon roll. That was good.
Cinnamon roll.
I like it.
Like, yeah. I did the
And then
cinnamon
you're
roll
licking your
holiday
fingers.
tour.
And what?
I did the cinnamon roll holiday tour in Temecula. Did you
I remember seeing that. I didn't get invited on it, but whatever.
It was literally public. It was everywhere. We were at Penfolds. We were at Richie's. We were at
I didn't
Swingin'.
know about it until afterwards.
Well, I'm sorry. That's not my fault. Cinnamon roll.
All right.
Cinnamon roll. I don't know. Okay, what else do I like?
There's always something chocolate.
I like chocolate, just like by itself.
When we went to the place in Old Town Temecula.
Bottega?
Yeah. Remember you got that?
Oh no, you got the Death by Chocolate.
Yeah.
What did I get?
I don't remember.
It wasn't that. I had the lemon
Oh,
blueberry
yeah, you like
thing.
lemon
That was
bars.
bomb.
Yeah.
I don't like lemon bars.
The
I like
lemon
I have
blueberries.
2 favorite aromas and
Okay.
flavors, lemon and ginger. Anything lemon and ginger, I'm a happy girl.
All right. Cool.
I'm just gonna go with cinnamon rolls.
All right. Beautiful. So how can people get a hold of you? How can they find you to collaborate with you, work with you, and get some of your sound healing?
Oh man, we're gonna rebrand me.
That's free. That's free of charge.
Thank you. The best way to reach out to me is through social media. So Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn is my preferred platform.
Okay. But what's the name of it? How?
It's Porsché Mysticque, but a lot of people struggle with spelling it. So Porsche, spell like the car, Porsche.
Okay.
Mystique, Mystiquue.
Yeah,
So there's
I
a
spelled that
C in
wrong.
there. Yeah, everybody does. Because the word Mystique doesn't have a C in it, but my name does. So if
Okay.
you just Google Porsche Mysticque, you'll find all of my stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Terrific.
Googleable.
Well, thank you for being on.
Thank you, Scott.
It's always fun to talk with you, and it's fun to work with you, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Did you know water always wins, people? Water always wins.
Profound.